My name is Ali Sheehan. I'm an associate athletic trainer here at AIC, and I work with currently women's soccer, women's volleyball, women's basketball, and men's lacrosse.
How did you first get into athletic training as a career path?
Man, I'll try and, long story short, I went to college, gained a lot of weight my freshman year. I was a gymnast my whole life, so I was relatively, I was very fit. Gained a lot of weight my freshman year at Fitchburg State, and that's when I started to get curious about the human body. Why did I gain this weight? What am I doing wrong? And yeah, I guess from there, it kind of just escalated to trying to lose weight. I had never been on a treadmill before, never been in a gym before. I truly didn't have to when I was younger. Was always running around and being a gymnast. I mean, that's all I did. I was a gym rat as far as gymnastics goes. So kind of got into working out on my own. I met a few people along the way, learned how to work out by myself, utilize YouTube. And then I ended up wanting to go back into sports. So my freshman year, I didn't do any type of sports at all. I wanted to take a break, give my body a break. And so my sophomore year at Fitchburg State, I was still kind of like on that losing weight journey. How do I get back to me and what I was used to? So I ended up getting back into soccer again, which was the best decision I ever made. I played at Fitchburg for 3 years. About my junior year, I got injured. I had a hamstring strain, and it was bad. Very, very bad. Still played through the whole season, but unfortunately, the athletic trainers, they were short-staffed. There wasn't many of them at Fitchburg State. Always very helpful, very kind, but I was confused as to how I got a hamstring injury. I was training and doing all the things. I was confused about that, and I was confused as to why nobody was helping me with my injury. My trainers can see that I'm not running correctly. I knew I wasn't running correctly on the field, trying to track people down on defense when I was playing soccer, and that's kind of what led me to, athletic training. I wanted to learn more about it, and it's kind of been almost in the back of my brain. I've always thought about, how can we make athletic training better without even knowing that that's what I was thinking. So that's kind of where it all started, and applied to programs, and it was just that combination of gaining weight, getting injured, figuring out why I got injured, and then filling in that gap of, we had athletic trainers, but they weren't as helpful as I needed for my injury. And I ended up, having hamstring issues for a few years after that. But yeah, that's kind of what led me to apply to school, get in and survive and get out, and then, start working.
Do you still play soccer now?
No, I wish I joined a league. I've been hesitant to get back into the soccer realm just because of the amount of concussions I've had. Very unfortunate, but when you kind of get into that 6, 7, 8 range of head injuries, you have to know when to call it quits. And that's another reason why I love what I do. I get to watch these kids do something that they love and give it their all. It's so meaningful to me to watch them and have fun, even though I can't do it anymore. That's just another reason why I got into this. Love watching the kids play.
You worked at both the high school and the collegiate level. You were at the High School of Commerce right here in Springfield a couple different times.
Yes.
In between, you also worked at Babson.
Yeah.
What did you gain from the different experiences working with different levels of athletes, high school athletes and college athletes, and maybe what are some of the big differences?
So many differences. It would be hard to say, what are the main ones, but I mean, when I was fresh out of school, I went to the High School of Commerce. I was there for 2 years. Right fresh out of school, I learned so much about these kids and the population that I worked with, being in downtown Springfield. It was a great starting point for me, but I think that, I guess I would say like the biggest difference is I've worked with kids of all ages, coming from all different types of backgrounds. I've worked with kids where I've given the coat off my back to somebody that's walking to school that has no winter coat, to somebody that may be at Babson that just has money coming out of their pores. So it's really just that level of play and just differences. It was an experience for me, but it's only made me who I am today, and it only gives me, just that kind of next step onto just being able to work with everybody, all different kinds of kids. The high school level, obviously they're younger, but yeah, it's been great. I mean, Babson was a D3 level, now I'm at Division II. I think that for me, it's always, even though there are so many differences, we're all here for the same goal, and it's to watch the kids play and have some fun, and hopefully, heal some injuries along the way, and make sure that the kids are having a safe and healthy time while playing and doing what they love.
You obviously familiar with Springfield because of Commerce and because you had been here there was a stretch of 3 years, another stretch of 2 years. Then the job at AIC opens up. What made you say, I want to make this jump to NCAA Division II athletics?
I get this question a lot. I'm going into this summer will be my 8th year of doing this. I've never been enthused by the level of play. That's not really what got me into athletic training. A lot of people have asked if I'm going to go professional, yada, yada. The level of play isn't, what's kind of interesting to me. It's more so, I feel like I stray towards like, what can I do to make something better? And that's exactly what I did at Commerce. I made so many things better in all different aspects of athletic training, whether it was administration or, painting the walls of my small little athletic training room there. I walked into AIC, Rob kind of brought me along. He, convinced me to come along, but really I walked into a sports medicine department that was unfortunately a little bit neglected. And for me to see that, when I look at a treatment room, I can tell just by that how the kids are also being treated. And for me, I saw this as a place of, I need to fix this, I want to fix this. And I'm going to do anything in my power to do that. And that's been my goal since I kind of was convinced to kind of come on here and just make it better and make it better for the kids so that they can have a great experience.
Clearly it has gotten a lot better in your time here at AIC, and what Rob has done, what you have done, what Alyssa has been able to do, and knowing that you have that support from above, with Alyssa being in the role that she's in, with your promotion to associate athletic trainer, with Rob as the AD being an athletic trainer who sat in the chair that you were in, who has been there, done that, both administratively and as a medical professional, and still sometimes will work games, even though he's the AD. What does it mean to you to know that you have that support toward your mission of constant improvement and doing more and better for the student athletes?
It's always great to have support with Rob, being an athletic trainer while also being the AD. it just helps our sports medicine department even more. Alyssa and I, we're just still plugging along, working together, along with Jill now. She was just hired, and plugging away at those things that were, like I said, a little bit neglected before, but I feel like at this point, like having their support and guidance has been, super helpful, like while we're kind of like in this transition piece, sports medicine wise. I mean, with their support, and Alyssa and I working together, it's only up from here.
You've been here for quite a while at this point now, a couple of years, and you've been able to work with a bunch of different teams and see a lot of the good things that have happened. What, if you had to pick a favorite moment in your time at AIC, doesn't necessarily have to be an in-game type of thing, anything, a memory, would you say is kind of your favorite moment here?
My favorite moment here, that's tough. I think Brenna had asked me this because we're doing an Instagram post. There's so many moments. I mean, it could just be from watching someone who's been struggling with injury just make a certain shot or just getting them back to play. It could be just something as simple as that. I guess for me, like when I think about a moment, it was when we were at Southern Connecticut women's basketball. It was earlier in the year this year. I forget how many we were down by. I think we were down by 2 maybe. Anyways, Tia Martinez, her and I have a great relationship. She's gone through a few injuries here and there, and when that happens, you just get closer to the kids and you want what's best for them, as always. So when she hit that 3-pointer buzzer beater, I was just so happy for her and so happy for the team. Just a simple game, but it's moments like that help me realize, the bigger picture and why I'm here.
Last question for this part. Somebody comes to you and they say, hey, I'm thinking about getting into athletic training as a career, and you can give them one piece of advice. What is that piece of advice?
One piece of advice. I have so many, I guess, things that I could say to somebody. Fortunately, sports medicine-wise, athletic training-wise, we were and are still going through a transition phase of we're just a dying breed right now, because we are significantly underappreciated and overworked and underpaid. So somebody that's looking to get into athletic training right now, do your research, ask the questions in an interview. Even if it's scary, just ask the questions anyway so that you know what you're getting into when you're looking to get a job somewhere. I think that that's something that I've learned over time. The more interviews you go on, the more confident you get, but ask the questions. No question is a stupid question. I mean, I'm constantly asking some of our new guys here, Brenna Sullivan and Alyssa Sherlin, they're fresh out of school, and I ask them questions all the time, or I see them doing something that I've never done before. I'm like, hey, what's that for? How do you do that? Can you show me? You have to ask the questions, and if it's a stupid one, it is what it is, and you know what I mean? Ask the questions, learn from it, and don't ask a question more than 2 or 3 times.